Welcome back, y'all. Today, we're going to be talking about if you can actually jam or interfere with a SimpliSafe system either using a $6 key fob or a $20 handheld radio. Hey y'all, so this all started back when we were looking at Ring versus SimpliSafe systems. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. Or you can also check out our video about how to install a SimpliSafe system up here as well. It started because some people were commenting about how easy it was to jam a SimpliSafe system, and I was really curious, so I started doing research. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, including one from the lockpicking lawyer who said he was able to jam or interfere with the SimpliSafe system by a little key fob, a 433 megahertz key fob you can get for about $5 or $6 on Amazon. He said it worked, so we're going to try this first, and then he also pointed out that you could use a $20, $25 little radio transceiver to try and jam it as well. So we're going to try both of these out, and the reason why these work is that the SimpliSafe system transmits between the base station and these sensors on a frequency of 433.92 megahertz. And that's actually in the FCC filings that they made when they put the system out. So this little key fob should work because it's in the 433 megahertz range, and this should work because, well, you can program it to the exact frequency. So I'm curious if we can either trick a sensor or break into the house or anything like that. So let's go ahead and try it out and see what happens. All right, so to get started, I'm gonna do a couple of things first. I'm going to set my alarm to home just to show you that it does work. And then I'm going to open the door and show you that the alarm does go off like it should. Now keep in mind I have talked to SimpliSafe and it is in test mode right now. So when I do get an alarm, it's not gonna send me any alerts, phone calls, or the police. Cool, so it's armed. You also get to see how loud this really is. So it starts beeping at you, as you can tell on the panel. It asks you to enter the PIN, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Alarm off.
All right, perfect. So it arms, goes off when it's supposed to, and it turns off when it's supposed to. Let's take a look at our first item. So if you look online, various videos will tell you if you buy a 433 megahertz key fob, things that are used like your garage door and stuff like that, you can get these for like $6. This one I got on Amazon. They say that this should interfere with the system enough so you can get through a door without it setting the alarm off. So I wanted to show that first of all, just without the system on, that if you hold this up to near the base station or near a door handle, a door frame or anything, it's not going to do anything. Doesn't do anything, doesn't set off any alarms. So I also wanted to show you how these door sensors work. So typically when you open a door, it's going to make a sound and you can see that blue light that flashed up here. Same thing when you close the door, it'll flash again. Well, the theory is that this key fob will interfere with this sending the signal down to the base station. So I'll go ahead and hold it right near it just to give it the best chance, and I'll open the door and we can see if we can hear the signal from the base station. Sure enough. Didn't really work. So. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this outside. I'm gonna set my alarm and I'm gonna hold it up to the top right portion of the door just to show that this does not work and it's really a waste of money. All right, so let's go ahead and try this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lock our alarm system with our app on our phone, or you can use the remote, and set it to home just like we did before. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this on the top right where that door sensor is and see if the alarm gets set off when I walk in. Now, we do have the smart lock on the door, so you would have to get past that somehow because like brute force it or something like that. But this isn't testing that. This is testing whether you can block or interfere with the signal and get in without setting off the alarm. So I'll go ahead and get it set and we'll try it out. System is armed, as you can see, armed home. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna hold this up in the top right. And nada.
Alarm off.
Did not work. All right, well, this was a bust. So it really did absolutely nothing. So I don't know, maybe it's just this clicker, but it swears it's a 433 megahertz clicker. Got it on Amazon for about $6, but I don't know. Some people have gotten it to work and at least do something. I didn't. So the other thing that we're going to try, and this should have more of an effect, is this little wireless transceiver. So these can be fairly powerful, and thankfully we live in the middle of nowhere, so you do have to be careful with where you use them and how you use them. But in this case, I'm just going to turn it on and go to the frequency of 433.92. So this is the frequency that SimpliSafe has put in their FCC filings as the frequency that goes between all of the different sensors in the base station. So theoretically, if you broadcast on this frequency, you're going to get interference. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to basically hold this down around the base station, around the door sensor, and see what happens.
Wireless interference detected.
Okay, interesting. So we're going to do the same thing here with this transmitter and the door sensor. So it's unlocked and transmitting.
Wireless interference detected.
Interesting. So that was interesting. It just said wireless interference detected. It didn't give the door chime that it was opening. So we're gonna step outside and try it that way and see if we can arm the system like before and step in. I have a feeling that this is gonna allow us to walk in without it tripping the alarm, but we'll see. Let's go. Okay. So now we're outside. I'm going to go ahead and set my SimpliSafe alarm to home, just like before. Okay, it's home as you can tell from there. So now how this is going to work, I'm just going to walk in. I'm going to hold this up near that sensor, and then I'm going to go ahead and close the door and let go of the mic switch here on the radio. And theoretically, if this works to break into a house, it should go back to the home armed state without knowing that I entered. But if it does trigger the system, it'll start beeping to ask me for the PIN. So I'm actually very interested to see how this works. Let's give it a try.
Wireless interference.
Didn't work.
Alarm off.
Well, that is actually really good news. So in a sense, it kind of worked. As you saw when I walked in the door, it didn't trigger the door signal. But when I did get in and close the door and I turned off the radio or I let go of the switch, it did ask for my PIN, so it did trigger. That's very, very interesting. I wonder if this waits until you let go of the trigger to sense it. I'm gonna try that real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and arm the system here. Okay, it is armed. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and depress the button, walk in, and I'll hold it for, 10-15 seconds and make sure the door is nice and sealed, and then I'll let go.
Wireless interference.
Let go of it. Well, that is interesting. Well, that's definitely interesting. That is not what I anticipated happening. I fully expected it to go off once I let go of the trigger, but maybe the door sensors only hold the information for so long before they trigger, and so if you keep the interference going, or the jamming, basically is what it is, long enough, it doesn't have enough time or doesn't remember that it was opened. That's really interesting. Yeah. This should not be able to foil a decent security system. That is just really concerning, and it doesn't make me sleep well at night. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, if you guys see anything, maybe I did something wrong that tricked it, or did something different than expected, I don't know. But if you guys have any questions about anything we did today, go ahead and put it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, if you guys have any ideas of things that I can try and test with this system in the future, go ahead and drop them in the comments. Otherwise, we really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, y'all, for watching. We really appreciate it. If you would consider subscribing by clicking on the icon below, and make sure to turn on bell notifications so you do get notified every time a video does come out, which is every Thursday. Also, please be sure to check out the video that YouTube recommends for you on your left, as well as our most viewed video to your right.